Y'all, this mic is on. These lights are hot. And your girl is ready to rip into some threads. Not only am I ripping into some threads, your girl is also ripping into some of y'all asses because I'm tired of y'all goofies on this internet. So I don't care if my merch brought you here, my sewing brought you here, this talent that I got brought you here, or this light that's deep inside of me that shines through and makes some of y'all love me or love to hate me brought you here. So y'all come on in here and unwind, grab y'all drinks, and just watch your girl unload what the hell I've been seeing on these apps. So now that I got y'all nosy asses in here, don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. Also, don't forget to leave your girl a comment, and you can also tap that bell icon at the top of the page to receive all things me. All right, all right, all right. Let me make sure I can hear myself. I can. So, yeah, y'all get in here. Mm, I'm getting everything together about what I want to talk about today. Finishing up a piece. And I want to give a shout out to Meg from Facebook who be watching my lives and for suggesting this topic about Shelly Miscavige. And Shelly Miscavige is a part of Scientology. So today I'm going to be talking about Shelly Miscavige, what she has going on. So yeah, shout out to Meg for this topic. I didn't start really looking into it or whatever. I said I was gonna go live and start looking at what happened to this lady, what she got going on, where she may be at, and what these people are talking about. So, today I want y'all to join me as I dive deep into the mystery of what happened to Shelly Miscavige and see if I can uncover the truth. Shelly Miscavige, the wife of Scientology leader David Miscavige, has been shrouded in mystery since her sudden disappearance from the public eye back in 2007. It's been a long time. As a high ranking member of the Church of Scientology, her absence has sparked intense curiosity and concern among both former Scientologists and the general public. Where in the world is Shelley? The concerns surrounding her disappearance are multifaceted. Many have raised questions about her well being, wondering if she's being held against her will. Is she? Or is she not? The lack of the people seeing her out in public have only fueled these concerns, leaving many to speculate about her fate. Some have even gone as far as to accuse the Church of Scientology of hiding her away and controlling her every move. Yo, Shelly, if you out there, Shelly, hit me up. And y'all, I think I see a lady on my YouTube page that I follow because she be doing like arts and crafts and stuff. She kind of favors Shelly. I'm gonna show y'all that lady. But yes, so the mysterious disappearance or the serious nature of how she disappeared, it has led to a lot of rumors and theories. Hold on, y'all. Bam. Okay, I had to respond to a message. But some people believe that she may have been placed in a secretive detention facility, while other people think that she might have simply chosen to step back from the public eye and just gone into hiding altogether to just be private because people are nosy. The Church of Scientology has consistently denied any and all wrongdoing, stating that Shelley has simply chosen to dedicate herself to the church's activities and live a private life. That could be true as well. But as the years have passed, Shelly's absence has become a rallying cry for those critical of Scientology, who point to her disappearance as evidence of the church's questionable practices. Her story has been a focal point for investigations and documentaries exploring the inner workings of Scientology. I myself, I'm not too familiar with Scientology, but guess what, y'all? We're gonna learn about Scientology together today. But in 2013, Leah, I want to say Remini, a former Scientologist and high-profile actress, filed a missing persons report for Shelly. So Shelly had some people looking for her, further amplifying the mystery of, is she missing? Or is she private? Is she in hiding? Where is Shelly? With Leah hopping on board, it brought about significant media attention to Shelly's case, putting pressure on the Church of Scientology to provide answers. Right? Okay. All right, Shelly. The Church of Scientology has consistently refused to comment on Shelly's whereabouts, fueling speculation and concern. Many have called for greater transparency, hoping that some light can be shed on her situation and what's going on around it. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, it's clear that Shelley's disappearance has left a lasting impact on both her family and the world at large. To this day, the mystery surrounding Shelly Miscavige remains unsolved. But y'all, in some stuff I read, it was saying that she isn't even missing. She isn't listed as a missing person or anything of that nature. So her disappearance continues to raise significant questions about the Church of Scientology's practices and the rights of its members. As we reflect on the implications of her disappearance, it's clear that this is a story that continues to captivate and disturb us all at the same darn time. If you have any thoughts on what might have happened to Shelly Miscavige, I encourage you to share them in the comments below. For more on related topics, be sure to check out my next video where we explore more shocking truths and tap into Jules' dark and twisted mysteries. So yeah, all right. So I'm gonna share my screen and we are going to go over a couple of videos that I found to be quite interesting about Shelly. All right, when I find it, bam. Why they won't let me enter my playlist? Hold on, y'all. For me to share my screen, do I have to turn off my overlay? For me to share my screen, I got to turn off the overlay. I don't see the screen. Yeah, but can the people still see it? Mm-hmm. Yo, hold on 1 second. Hold on. Hmm? I can't find it. What you calling button? Mm-hmm. Bam. Thank you. Huh? Okay. Boom. All right, so boom. Before getting started, I'm going to give a shout out to Growing Up in Silent Scientology. They have a lot of dope content on Scientology. Oh, before we even tap into this video, I, for myself, want to know what is Scientology. So let's check it out. All right, so Scientology is a religion founded by Ron Hubbard in the 1950s, based on the belief that humans possess a spiritual being called a thetan that can separate from the body. It involves a process called auditing to help individuals confront and resolve past traumas that are believed to be stored as engrams and hinder spiritual progress. Scientology aims to achieve a state of clear where the individual's true self, the thetan, I might be saying this wrong, is free to function unimpeded. Here's a more detailed explanation. If y'all want a more detailed explanation, you can go on Google and see what all of these terms mean. Okay, but yeah, so in essence, Scientology presents itself as a spiritual path that utilizes a unique method method well, I can't say that. Method don't even worry about it. Auditing to help individuals overcome past traumas and unlock their spiritual potential as thetans, according to the Church of Scientology's website. Methodology. Don't try me. All right, so boom. That's what Scientology is, right? So boom, let's check out Aaron and Jordan. Well, he calls himself Aaron. Boom. Oh, hold on. Let's share this one.
I've read David Miscavige's wife has not been seen since, I believe, her father's funeral in 2001. Like, I am very concerned about missing people, right? Whether that is, you know, I think about, like, in psychology, we have to take continuing education credits on how to identify victims of human trafficking, for example. Like, missing people is a concern to me. And I'm kind of concerned that, like, nobody's seen her and, like, we don't have any indication of her well-being, if that is true.
She's not really missing.
Okay.
I've done 20 videos about her being missing, but that's just to troll Scientology. So can I explain it to you? Because I actually really love explaining this.
Please do.
In the Sea organization, being someone's spouse means nothing. And I'll flesh this out a bit. Compare and contrast to, let's say, the head of a giant company, or, you know, the president of the United States, where being the spouse means you will travel with this person. You will be seen at their side at important events. You are known to be the spouse of this person.
Yeah.
In the Sea organization, and this is true at the lower levels of the Sea Org and the higher levels of the Sea Org, being David Miscavige's wife means zero. Nobody would know who you are. You would not travel with this person. You would not be by their side at events. The only thing that would cause you to be seen with this person, and this is true for Shelly, her job in the Sea organization was to be David Miscavige's assistant. Okay. So the only reason Leah Remini ever met David Miscavige's wife is because she traveled with him everywhere, because she was his assistant, not because she was his wife. Okay. So at the highest levels of the Sea organization, the bases where they work are confidential in Scientology. The locations of these bases are not even known. So if David Miscavige, so the people who knew Shelly Miscavige were the people who worked with her. I, as a Scientologist, never heard, like, Scientologists in general have never seen a picture of Shelly Miscavige. If they did, she was not identified as Shelly Miscavige. She's never spoken on stage at a Scientology event. She's never issued a memo, a bulletin, a video. Shelly Miscavige her post was chairman of the board's assistant. Okay. Once David Miscavige removed her from that post, there was never any reason for Shelly Miscavige to ever be seen by a Scientologist again, except those people who work with her at the base where she works. And that's not just true for Shelly Miscavige. It's true for every single Scientology executive at the international base.
Interesting.
So I want to look up, what is the Sea Org? Maybe it's the Scientology organization and how it's ran. And I want to look up what constitutes a marriage in Scientology, or this Sea Org in which he speaks of. Because how many other women that are a part of this religion or organization, and people have yet to see them? Why are people so concerned about this one lady who is missing? You know, like, or even if she is missing. He said that he was just trolling, but I have other videos that states that, you know, a lot of people do believe that she's missing because she hasn't been seen. But I use logic when I think about stuff. Okay, how many other women that's a part of that religion or that sect or whatever that, you know, family hasn't heard from them or seen them either? Are they also living private lives? Have those other women been able to be out in public and be seen, and only this lady hasn't? You know? Them are some of the questions I would have. But yeah, let's carry on.
So my point is this, though. Even when Shelly was on her post, and she was on that post for, I don't know, 15 plus years, no public Scientologist would have been able to pick Shelly Miscavige out of a lineup. No public Scientologist ever heard the name Shelly Miscavige, except for people who traveled in circles where they actually interacted with David Miscavige personally, which the only public Scientologists who personally interacted with David Miscavige would have been a celebrity like Leah Remini, who at certain events would get FaceTime with David Miscavige. And therefore he might be like, hey, here's my wife, Shelly, right? But let's say David Miscavige, when he visits a Scientology organization, he travels with an entourage of executives.
Mhm.
If you encountered that entourage, even when Shelly was in the entourage, at no point would he introduce his wife to you. She's just there as his assistant. Okay. So the fact is, the police, now the reason I think it's fascinating that Shelly Miscavige has been disappeared is because I like to highlight it as an example of Scientology does not have the tools to fix anything. It couldn't save Tom Cruise's 3 marriages. It couldn't fix whatever David Miscavige was, whatever was wrong with Shelly in David Miscavige's mind. Not even David Miscavige thought he could use Scientology to fix it. He's like, fuck you. I'm taking you off of your post and I'm sending you to the Twin Peaks base so that I don't have to fucking look at your ass every day. Now, I believe he is still married to Shelly, but she works on a remote base in Twin Peaks, California. She doesn't even work at the international base. And so the point is this: if a Scientologist wouldn't be able to pick Shelly Miscavige out of a lineup, even when she was on her post, I always push back on the idea Shelly Miscavige has never been seen since. I go, seen by who? Nobody would recognize Shelly Miscavige. In fact, one of the most recent sightings of Shelly Miscavige by someone who actually knew her is a guy named Mitch Brisker, and he ran into her at a Chipotle while she was eating with 2 other high-level Scientology executives. And you go, so you ran into Shelly Miscavige at a Chipotle. Okay, so the point is, anyone who saw Shelly Miscavige would not know it was Shelly Miscavige.
Interesting. Right. That is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me, hold on. Let me pull it up. That's crazy, because if people have seen a picture of her, why wouldn't people know what she looked like? I'm sorry, that don't make sense to me. Hold on, I'm finna share it. Bill. Anywho, I'm gonna let this keep playing, but I'm gonna show y'all a picture of this lady, and you tell me if you can see somebody. And y'all know how social media get when they start looking for people. They go deep, digging deep, finding pictures. It's a lot of pictures of this lady online, unless it's not her, unless this is somebody else. But people that have been around her, like the Leah lady, she's the one that reported her missing. So I don't know. To me, he's kind of contradicting himself, but I don't know. Well, let's listen on.
Scientologist who saw Shelly Miscavige would not know it was Shelly Miscavige.
I'm curious. So,
one more. Hold on to that question, because there's one more big kicker here.
Yeah.
Mike Rinder and Marty Rathbun are 2 of the highest level Scientology executives to have ever defected. They were very close personal friends with Shelly Miscavige. Shelly being taken off of her post and sent away to the Twin Peaks base happened after Mike, meaning Mike and Marty left Scientology after Shelly was taken off of her post and sent off to the Twin Peaks base. Neither of those 2 people ever said one fucking word about Shelly Miscavige or her being missing or there being any concern about Shelly. None of them ever said a word about Shelly, because what happened with Shelly is not unique or remarkable. The fact that she was removed from her post happens to Scientology executives all the time. The fact that a Sea Org executive that Miscavige has fallen out of favor with Miscavige is sent off to some other base happens all the time. They never expressed 1 ounce of concern or regard for Shelly Miscavige. It wasn't until Leah Remini, who barely knew Shelly Miscavige, reported her as missing.
Did she barely know her, or was she always around her? Like, if you're always around somebody, whether they're lying to you about who they are or if they're being 100% truthful about who they are, you learn them. You pick up on their traits. I'm a vibe person. I'm an energy person. So you could be lying to me and telling me one thing, but I guarantee you, I know who you are before you even tell me who you are. So you can't tell me you just said the only person that will be able to tell us anything about this lady and what she looked like is Leah, but now Leah doesn't know. Leah wasn't Leah wouldn't know her? That doesn't make sense to me. But y'all, let's keep watching. I just found out about this yesterday. So we gonna learn together and see what they say. Might watch another video after this. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out where is Shelly.
As a bit of a publicity stunt, which I'm in favor of. Like, I'm in favor of using Shelly as a publicity stunt. The problem is that now people are expected to take up the banner of, oh no, where's Shelly? We know where Shelly is. Like, where's all the other Scientology executives you haven't seen in 20 years? Right?
Yeah. That's really interesting. So this Twin Peaks,
it's a base. You can literally look it up on Google Maps. Journalists have gone there. The law enforcement has made contact with Shelly. Like, the people who tell you she's missing will also tell you where she is. So like, there are bloggers, just be a civil, I won't name them.
Yeah.
The bloggers who tell you Shelly's missing and you should be concerned for her will also take a journalist to the Twin Peaks base and say, this is where Shelly is. Then I guess she's not missing, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But when these people take them to this Twin Peaks base and say this is where Shelly is, do they see Shelly? Just because they say this is where Shelly is does not mean there is Shelly. Like, I don't know. I think logically. And if she isn't missing, show her. Show Shelly. Where is Shelly? Shelly, we gonna keep looking for you, baby.
Yeah. If you know where, yeah. Interesting. What was it that happened to get her removed from her post?
David Miscavige had given the international Scientology executives some ridiculously impossible tasks to complete, had taken them all off of their posts, and basically said, you've got to redesign the whole international org board. He was basically, he was punishing them. He was degrading them. He was penalizing them. He was tasking them with impossible busy work. Well, what happened is one of the times that when Miscavige was off the base for an extended period of time, Shelly actually intervened to do the work all these other people were tasked with doing. And Miscavige came back and took that as a personal affront. And that was just, the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
I mean, the truth is, I think Miscavige was sort of losing it. He was sort of losing it. Shelly knew he was losing it. Shelly was trying to basically act as a buffer between Miscavige and the people he was essentially abusing. And Miscavige basically felt like, oh, you're siding with them? You got to go. You're out of here. You're gone. And so, there was an anecdote from a young woman who worked directly for Shelly that she saw Shelly, crying and walking to a black SUV, and the black SUV left the base. And you're like, yeah, a lot of Sea Org members cry when they're in trouble and being taken off their post. Like, the fact that she was put in an SUV is like, yeah, okay, who cares whether it was an SUV or whether it was a Honda Del Sol? Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
all details matter. Every detail matters. If that's the last time somebody saw this lady, that detail matters. It may not matter to you, but yeah, it matters.
She got in a car and she was taken to the other base. It's not a kidnapping. It's not a kidnapping.
Yeah. That's really, really interesting. And one way, I'm thinking about this, obviously, because I haven't looked into this, and I hear this, and I read it from reading some of Leah Remy's kind of stuff, and it's like to me, that is a great way to get people pissed off at Scientology. And again, whether that's good or bad or whatnot. But
I think it's great. I think it's great. I think the fact that Where is Shelly has become a meme is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just that when I talk about it, I also talk about it in a way that's not dishonest.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. And so there's part of me that's like, okay, for anybody that's out,
you can not be dishonest and still be biased. I don't know. Because to just write it off as no one will see her, I'm gonna always go back to, are all of the other women private or just as private as this lady? Anybody else that has been removed from a post, have people not seen them? You know, QTNA questions that need answers. But it doesn't matter if it was a Honda Del Sol or a tinted out SUV. All right, that's biased to me. But I don't think. Oh, and I don't think people are mad about Scientology. People just want to know, where is Shelly?
in California, like let's see if we can, I don't know, send me a picture of her or something, or maybe I'll go out and try and meet her and be like, okay, yes, I have empirical evidence. You are you. Not saying I don't believe you, but what I'm just saying is like having that evidence, right? Of like, no, she's really not missing.
Well, and a lot of people go, if she was really there and she was really okay, why wouldn't Miscavige just, put her photo in a magazine or have her be in the background in a video? And he because Miscavige doesn't give a fuck what anyone thinks about him. Or if anything, I think he loves the fact that people are running around with a narrative that if challenged legally could be easily debunked. I think.
Does he not give a fuck? Or does he care? Like, I don't know. You just gotta pay attention. I pay attention to the words people say. He just said he doesn't care. That David Miscavige doesn't care about people, but he loves the fact, or he cares about the fact that people are running with this narrative. Come on, doesn't make any sense. Keep going.
I think he actually loves the fact that this meme is out there and it's also false. It's better than a meme that's true, It doesn't affect Miscavige's life in any way, shape, or form that people joke about his wife being missing. It just doesn't affect his life in any way, shape, or form. And I think he's also infatuated with not feeling like anyone can force him to do anything. And he's like, I'm not going to let Leah Remini win by putting Shelly in some sort of a promo material so that people can run around and take a victory lap that they've solved the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've done 100 videos about Shelly being missing. But I also explain, in every one of those videos, I actually explain, what's happened, and that Shelly being quote unquote missing is an example of how Scientology doesn't work. That's why I like talking about Shelly being missing. Miscavige couldn't even use Scientology to save his own wife and keep her on her post so that they could live happily ever after for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. Because, okay, Dianetic Scientology, it's the world we're going to clear the world and then everybody's going to live happily ever after. And it's like, it's almost like people are people. I think it's an unfortunate situation. I feel, the whole situation.
And there's another aspect of this. Realize, Shelly Miscavige might have been a kinder or gentler version of David Miscavige, but she was still one of the primary leaders of this family destroying human trafficking cult. It's not like Shelly Miscavige is in Scientology against her will.
Why don't you own apartment buildings? Seriously, why don't you own these big apartment buildings?
And she's not a victim.
Yeah.
She's one of the abusers.
Yeah.
The fact that she fell out of favor with her.
Again, people in the audacity. So, because he deemed her as being unworthy of anything else because of the things she does, and I guess in this religion, I'm not educated on Scientology at all. But just listen to how he speaks about her. He's biased, for one. For two, because he feels this way about her. Don't nobody need to look for her. Yeah. That's why I don't do religion too tough. This is one of the main reasons right here too. But yeah, let's keep watching.
Her more abusive leader husband doesn't make her a sympathetic figure.
Yeah. That's interesting too. And it's like, there's part of me that kind of wants to push back a little bit about like, what are the maintaining factors, again, keeping all these people. And I'm not saying she is a great person, but it would be interesting to see like, what are some of the influences keeping some of these people, and especially the higher ups of staying in, because even then, it's like,
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
Shelly Miscavige was practically raised by L. Ron Hubbard. She started working for Scientology when she was like 11, 12, 13, something like this.
Oh, wow.
On the ship with L. Ron Hubbard. Shelly Miscavige believes that L. Ron Hubbard is coming back. Shelly Miscavige believes in Scientology. Shelly Miscavige believes in the mission of Scientology. Even if she knows Scientology is not accomplishing its aims, she believes that eventually L. Ron Hubbard is going to come back. And if she were to leave, that would be abandoning L. Ron Hubbard. Like, she's a believer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
interesting.
And so, like, when I say she's not a victim, everyone in Scientology is to some extent a victim.
Yeah. Yep.
But someone, if they wanted to really go far out there, would say, well, doesn't that apply to David Miscavige?
Yeah.
Why is he the only one in Scientology who's not?
Yeah. Interesting. No, I appreciate the background. And like I said, I'll have to check out some of your other videos, because I do find that like really fascinating. And then two, clearly, Leah Remini was pissed off, and it's like, okay, well, again, and then this whole
now Leah Remini says it's my missing friend. It was my missing friend, and you go, then why were you guys writing letters to each other in the age of cell phones? Like, Shelly Miscavige was being nice to you because you were a Scientology celebrity. Did you ever go over to her house? No. Did she ever go over to your house? No. Did you guys ever go shopping together? No. You ever go to the spa together? No. You ever take a day off together? No. Then what definition of friend are we using here?
Yeah.
She sent you a Christmas gift? Okay, how many other celebrities did she send Christmas gifts to? Shelly Miscavige was treating you how she was treating you because she was chairman of the board's assistant and you were a Scientology celebrity. And if you were her friend, Mike Rinder was also her friend, Marty Rathman was also her friend, they never reported her missing. So why 8, 9, 10 years later, like, you reported her missing after you hadn't spoken to her for 10 years? Well, I feel like,
dang. Yeah, if my friend go missing, y'all, I am going to report her missing as soon as I know she missing. I'm not going to wait a couple of years. So, yeah, he got a point right there. Okay, Aaron. All right. Ding, ding, ding. One for Aaron.
I feel like if you were really friends and she was really missing, it wouldn't have taken you 10 years to file that report. So,
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Wow. A lot going on.
So, but it sounds like I'm bothered when people say she's missing. I'm not. I actually love it when people say that she's missing.
Yeah, but to be able to provide the context of like, this is actually what this is. Yeah, that's fascinating.
And I guess one of the
And I'm going to show this from both angles, from both sides, from his side and another person's side as well, so we can get, a clear and concise view from two sides of it. And see, where is Shelly?
things, if I sound like I've got a slight edge to myself on this subject, there are people in my community who think it's not okay to explain how she's not really missing. And I'm like, you guys can you can ride that fucking train if you want. I'm not going to ride that train. I'm going to explain what's the real story is interesting enough.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well, and then too, going back to this idea of, I don't know, truth and honesty.
And, there's one other very prominent, I could say this for a number of Scientology executives, but one in particular, he was famous in Scientology. His name is Guillaume Leserve, and his post was Executive Director International, and it was at least believed that he was put on that post by L. Ron Hubbard himself, whether that's true or not. This guy hasn't been seen in 20 years. So what's more interesting, that one of Scientology's most visible and famous executives has not been seen in 20 years, or that David Miscavige's wife, who almost nobody knew and nobody could pick out of a lineup, hasn't been seen in 20 years? They're both interesting, but you only, poor Shelly. Where's Shelly? Where the fuck is Guillaume? No one cares about Guillaume. No one, where's Ray Midoff?
If you care, sound the alarms. Go sound the alarms for your missing people. The fuck? All right. All right. That didn't make sense to me. But I guess you got to be famous in Scientology for people to see you, or you have to be a man in Scientology for people to see you. I don't know. I'm gonna keep filling out this Scientology and see what they all about. Seems like another religion, but all right, let's keep going.
You know, no one's seen these. So the most famous high-level Scientology executives, no one's seen them in 20 years. But everyone cares about Shelly because because of the missing persons report. Shelly, it's not that nobody should ever be concerned about Shelly.
Yeah.
It's that if that concern was as well-founded as some people want to make it seem, they would have the same concern for the other Scientology executives for whom that's true. But there's zero concern there. So both can't be true.
You kind of drawing that discrepancy of like, well, this is a trend, right? So like, why stop with this one person when there are these other people who haven't been seen as well? Yeah, that is really, really interesting.
And especially when many media organizations have literally been escorted to the base where Shelly works by one of the main guys who says she's missing and says, here she is. This is where she works. It's like, then why do you keep saying she's missing, dude?
Yeah. That seems contradictory. Like, what do you mean she's missing if she's...
Because her family hasn't spoken to her. Wait a second. You mean family members you're speaking to haven't spoken to her? Mm-hmm. But the fact that you keep saying these family members speak to you would literally be the reason Shelly doesn't talk to them. Right? Yeah. So it's like, you mean Shelly hasn't been seen by anyone who A, recognized her, and B, told you about it.
Yeah.
But nobody would recognize her, and almost nobody who would tell you about it.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos.
All right. Well, we see where he stand with it when it comes to Miss Shelly. We see where he is at with it when it comes to Miss Shelly. I don't know how he put me. All right, there we go. I found it. Yeah, what happened to Shelly? According to him, she isn't missing. But I've also read in a few things, Miss Shelly is not missing. So, I don't know. But I do got another video from another standpoint or view or vantage point from somebody else. So let's check this one out and see how they feel about Miss Shelly. Bam. Okay. Oh, and y'all, don't forget to go and sub up to Growing Up in Scientology if you want to find out more things about the Church of Scientology. Ah. All right, so boom. My next one is coming from 60 Minutes Australia. They had something on where is the missing wife of Scientology's ruthless leader. So I want to look up David too and see what type of time David on. But most of these religious people, they are ruthless, they are vile, they are vindictive people. I grew up in a church just sound like it was a part of Scientology. But yeah, all right, y'all. So we're gonna take a look at 60 Minutes Australia. Y'all can also sub up to them as well. Let me share this with y'all. Where my phone? Oh. Hi, Eddie. Thanks for tapping in and watching. All right, so let's check out and see what 60 Minutes Australia has to say about Shelly, y'all. We've heard what the Church of Scientology had to say um about her. So let's check out this one.
League universities you can get into with a 3.6 GPA.
90% of students with a 4.0 GPAs get rejected from universities like
This how you know when an organization or a sect of people is with the shits. Because why you gotta talk to certain people? Why can't you go talk to anybody? Huh? If everything is so kumbaya and so in line and of standard, and I don't even know science. I still got to learn more about this Scientology stuff because I'm still kind of confused on it. If anybody know anything about Scientology and can break it down to me in layman's terms, or let's go a little bit better in third grade. If you can explain what Scientology is to a grader, please come and explain that to me, please and thank you. Because why she got to talk to somebody in media relations? Why I can't just talk to a regular lay member? Huh? What you scared of? People be scared of the truth coming out. But guess what? In 2025, if we gonna be anything, we are going to be fucking for real. Okay. Well, yeah, let's carry on. What? What? This sounds like modern day slavery. What? 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 Man, come on. People sign this. People in their right mind sign this. Because you got to be going through what they did say. They find people who have gone through traumatic events and use psychology to try and heal them or trick them because it sounds very cultish. I don't know. I can't just follow anybody. To each its own, but no, not your girl. Sorry.
I mean, it's still going on today. Parents are giving up their children to go join the Sea Org.
And who in their right mind gonna send their kids off with a grown man? That sounds like grooming to me. Grooming 101. But you know, certain people like certain things. There's only one culture, that's into this grooming and this pedophilic behavior. Oh, and Trump said they bringing back Columbus Day. Them people that brought that over here. Those ones. Yeah. All right, let's carry on.
They think
it was in the Sea Org that Shelley met the young David Miscavige.
But I wonder, speaking to Leah and Shelly's mom, what trauma happened to them which made them want to send their kids to Scientology? What did they need? This psychological aspect of a religion to heal them from. What were they healing from? Is what I want to know. But those are questions people are not going to be truthful about. But anywho, let's keep. I'm sorry, but I'm at a point in my life where can't nobody make me do anything. Nothing. Even when I was in the military, they couldn't make me do anything I did not want to do. So they had some type of mind control over these people because, honey, Well, no, I done seen it happen. Again, I grew up in a church that drained the pockets of a lot of people. They would not let you leave until they collected the amount of money they needed to pay their bills. We wasn't going anywhere. So yeah, I can see how some people would feel like they are forced into it, but I don't owe anyone that amount of loyalty where I'm going to be afraid to get up and walk out of any place that's acting crazy over some money, over my money that I work for, I earn. So yeah, no ma'am. Whew, Lord, it's some. I can't even call them weak, but there is some weak-minded people out here, gullible. Like no way, you you must gonna beat me up and knock me out and hold me here. Hmm, make it make sense. What kind of wizardry is going on here? People are scared to ask questions. I never understood that because I'm a very inquisitive person and I'm going to ask whatever I want to know. Sorry, not sorry. You like what is wrong? What be wrong with people? What really be going on that made this man feel like this man has so much power where he could not ask him a question about where his daughter-in-law was? That does not make any sense to me. And you call yourself a man? Yeah. God, these the men we left with. A woman had to put this man up to call this man. But they downplay women. It took a woman to empower this man to call this man and ask about his daughter-in-law. Stop, please. Find Jesus. So you mean to tell me they let a church build a makeshift prison and put people in cages? I hope all this is alleged and made up and make believe. Cause what in the entire fuck? People are so funny. Hello. Hello. Girl, ain't nobody even out there. Who is you talking to? They putting on for them cameras. I hope they find Shelly though, but that was funny because there is nobody out there. And she talking about some hello, lady. She got a point. She has gone public saying what she's saying. And if it's untrue and that holds no weight, sue her. Make her shut up. Point noted. All right, Leah. All right, y'all. Where is Shelly? To me, Scientology seems like it's a cult. And I got the same question that man had. How is this going on in the United States of America? I understand why. Because they just locked up Nature Boy for running something similar to this. Nature Boy couldn't do it. They ran down on the man from New York, Malachi York, and his thing in Georgia. But oh man, only in America, y'all. Welcome to America. But yeah, y'all. This is my coverage on what happened to Shelly. Thank y'all for tapping in. Thank you to what's my girl name again? Meg, for telling me about Shelly and offering me to look into her. If y'all have anything y'all want me to look up or check out to show, don't be afraid to send me an email Also, I am a small and ever-growing business. Y'all can always tap in and support your girl. Hold on, let me take this off. Y'all know what I'm about to play.
I'm asking for 100K or more. I need 20K by this week. Okay, in my pockets, in cash. Okay.
And until next time, y'all. The dopest seamstress, you know, she is tapping out. Thanks for tapping in and watching with the dopest seamstress, you know, where you can always trust the vibes because the energy never lies. If y'all like what you saw, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more awesome content. Don't y'all forget to click the bell icon so y'all will never miss an update. And y'all know the motto, never despise small beginnings because it gets greater later. Thanks for watching.